A mysterious virus has wiped out most of the planet's population. A man awakens in a massive grave, filled with 1,000 corpses, an inescapable pit for even the survivors. Gaze deep into his eyes, and it's hard to discern life from death. But then, he blinks, and his body contorts like a zombie or an addict in withdrawal. He realizes he's in a pit of decaying bodies, spots a woman above, and pleads for help. After brief contemplation, she tosses him a rope and flees. As he attempts to climb out, he discovers a revolver in the pit. Navigating a dark, rainy forest at night, he stumbles upon a cabin. Loading the gun, he enters, finding a group already discussing whether to assist the man in the pit. Chaos erupts as they point guns at each other, accusing one another of causing the devastation, unsure whose home they're in. The man explains his memory loss and the Asian woman's aid in his escape. They begin to blame her, and he is equally unaware of their identities. Suddenly, a man on the floor screams, convulsing. An attractive blonde tries to help, while the others watch in shock. Our character questions the situation, but the afflicted man remembers nothing. The blonde adds that none of them recall anything. They lack computers and smartphones, but they possess plastic badges with names. The blonde is Sharon, one man is Michael, and the one with the rifle is Lucas. The awakened man goes by Nathan, but neither he nor the Asian woman has identification. The woman is mute and communicates through hieroglyphs, but doesn't understand English. She awoke before the others, hinting at hidden knowledge. The group decides to search the house for answers. Nathan and our character explore a storeroom and find a calendar, with April 18th circled in red, 2 days away. Lucas and the Asian woman investigate needle marks on their veins. Michael discovers a cache of weapons and ammunition, prompting them to arm themselves as a precaution. Sharon guides our character to the showers for a refresh. Alone, he experiences strange flashbacks, attempting to recall his identity and the significance of April 18th to no avail. Suddenly they hear that the Asian woman has fled into the forest. The group arms up and sets out to search for her, leaving Michael and Nathan to guard the house. As they explore the library, Nathan realizes he knows Latin and medical terminology, while Michael's muscle memory kicks in, facilitating rapid weapon loading. The rest of the group ventures into the forest, and our character remembers carrying a corpse with a scorpion tattoo. They stumble upon a man's body tied to a tree, realizing it's not the only one here. The group was drawn by a woman's anguished scream echoing through the forest. Following its eerie trail, they stumbled upon a small, desolate cabin. Braving its mysterious interior, they were greeted by a jarring sight. The Asian lady, tending to a woman who appeared bound and treated like a captive animal. Fury blazed in her eyes as she lashed out at our character, accusing him of exploiting her daughter. With no alternative, he resorted to subduing her with a swift blow from the butt of his rifle. As they explored further, they noticed a surveillance camera, suggesting the presence of a control center. Michael and the Asian lady stood vigilant as sentinels. However, their serenity was shattered by a gut-wrenching scream erupting from the heart of the woods. Rushing to its source, they discovered a man, dreadfully entangled with a barbed rope. In a harrowing twist of events, the man turned the tables on Michael, choking him with the rope and plunging a jagged wooden shard into his neck. Meanwhile, the rest of the group stumbled upon a substantial heap of branches, concealing 2 operable cars. Among the possessions in one of the cars, Lucas uncovered a photograph featuring everyone except our protagonist. The enigmatic Asian lady reappeared, urgently reporting Michael's dire condition. They rushed to his aid, desperately attempting to administer first aid, but it was futile. In the wake of this tragedy, they resolved to divide and search the terrain. The main character, accompanied by Sharon, encountered an abandoned building marked with the number 18 on its fence. They combed through the premises, and an unexpected encounter awaited them, a young boy darting past them and barricading himself in a storage area. Through a narrow gap, they questioned the boy, learning that he anticipated someone named Jonah's arrival the following day. At last, the character unearthed his name and was taken aback by the child's uncanny knowledge. The boy unleashed a snarling Rottweiler at them, but the door held firm. In a desperate bid, Jonah tried to break the lock with his rifle, but his efforts proved futile. Simultaneously, Nathan noticed Lucas's deteriorating condition. Lucas suffered from an excruciating headache and unsettling flashbacks, indicating familiarity with the Asian lady. In a panicked grip, He clutched her hand until Nathan managed to soothe him. Afterward, they allowed Lucas to rest, and the Asian lady decided to reveal the cabin where the bound woman had been held. However, upon reaching their destination, they discovered that the woman had managed to escape, prompting them to initiate a search. Amid their quest, they stumbled upon barracks hidden within the forest. Here, Nathan found a pair of glasses that fit him perfectly. These glasses triggered fleeting memories of his involvement in unsettling human experiments. Nathan decided to remain at the barracks, and the Asian lady returned to the house, where she encountered Lucas once more. He relentlessly pursued her, insisting that he remembered her, yet she sought refuge in the attic, avoiding his persistent advances. Meanwhile, Lucas, continuing his exploration, stumbled upon an entrance to the basement. Inside, he made a horrifying discovery. Various medical containers, dishes containing human brains, and the control center for observing the cells. To his shock, all cell doors were wide open. Simultaneously, Nathan delved deeper into the barracks, guided by a woman's agonized cries. Upon opening one door, he encountered the same woman who had been bound in the cabin, now cradling her deceased daughter. Accusing Nathan of being a murderer, she launched an attack, but he managed to close the bars in time. As Nathan exited the barracks, he noticed strange figures converging upon him from all directions, their anguished cries piercing the air. In the basement of the house, Lucas stumbled upon a video camera and played a recorded video. A man named Jonah featured in the video, announcing that they were on the 96th day of an ongoing research project. One of the subjects had finally exhibited positive responses to their injections, marking progress. However, an alarming side effect was memory loss. Subjects initially lost consciousness and nearly perished, but they later regained consciousness without any recollection of the events. Lucas and the Asian lady were among the subjects in the video. Subsequently, Jonah and Sharon returned to the house, where Lucas awaited them, armed and furious. Pointing the rifle at Jonah, Lucas accused him of conducting experiments on them, backed by video evidence. Sharon demanded explanations from Jonah, but he insisted that he remembered nothing. Lucas then allowed Sharon to view the recording, and she, with tearful eyes, sided with him. Jonah's desperate attempt to justify himself fell on deaf ears, as Lucas swiftly silenced him with a brutal strike from the rifle butt. When Jonah regained consciousness, he found himself dragged to the gruesome pit of corpses. Forced to navigate the macabre labyrinth, he stumbled upon the girl bearing the scorpion tattoo, the one he had presumably killed. Lucas, gripped by a sinister urge, abruptly returned to the house with Sharon and the mute girl, agitatedly demanding car keys. The girls recognized that Lucas had lost his sanity. Sharon, in an attempt to calm him, requested that he sit and relax, but Lucas's behavior grew increasingly erratic. He pushed Sharon aside and pursued the mute girl around the house with malevolent intent. In a horrifying turn of events, Lucas attempted to sexually assault the mute girl, prompting Sharon to intervene with a gunshot that sent Lucas fleeing through a window into the forest. Meanwhile, Jonah's ordeal in the pit with the corpses grew increasingly harrowing. Struggling to breathe amidst the gruesome surroundings, he was unexpectedly visited by the Asian lady who tossed him a rope. Jonah climbed to safety and, in a bid to protect the woman, urged her to return home and keep her distance from him. He resolved to search for the boy who might possess crucial information. Upon returning to the building, Jonah stumbled upon what appeared to be a makeshift field hospital. There he discovered a map outlining a specific route. Haunting flashbacks resurfaced, depicting him requesting a man to transport a container, emphasizing its significance as their last hope. While navigating this surreal landscape, Jonah encountered two infected individuals, leading to a chaotic encounter. In the ensuing struggle, he dropped the car keys, which the deranged woman swallowed before launching a frenzied attack. Jonah was left with no choice but to eliminate her. As he started the car with the bloodied keys, he chanced upon a group of people on the road, including the boy. The boy's infected mother was restrained in the car, while his grandmother pointed a rifle at Jonah, demanding he cease his attempts at administering injections. Jonah's futile attempts to understand his past actions were met with the group's departure. As Jonah continued his journey, he stumbled upon the same container filled with flasks next to an abandoned vehicle, sparking more disturbing flashbacks. He recalled the creation of a virus targeting the human brain, with the life-saving vaccine stored in those flasks for military use. Inside the car, he discovered the lifeless body of a driver with an ID bearing the name Jonah Cook, confirming his identity. A poignant photograph of him and Sharon underscored his forgotten past. Out of nowhere, another vehicle emerged, colliding with Jonah's car. Behind the wheel was Lucas, visibly ailing. Jonah attempted to help Lucas and explain his intentions, emphasizing his desire to assist. He intended to inject Lucas with the vaccine, but the ailing man launched a violent assault, attempting to strangle Jonah. In a desperate struggle, Jonah struck Lucas with a stone, temporarily pacifying him. Jonah implored Lucas to hold on, but Lucas agonizingly revealed the torment within his mind. In his final moments, Lucas experienced flashbacks of camaraderie and gratitude, only to have their celebration shattered by an infected woman, breaking free from confinement, a grim reminder that not everyone could be saved. Meanwhile, Nathan regained consciousness, recollecting the events that had transpired. He embarked on a search for Jonah and encountered Sharon at the house. Together they defended against the relentless onslaught of infected individuals. Jonah hastened to join them, enduring one last wave of flashbacks, recounting the moment when everything spiraled out of control. Jonah implored everyone to congregate within the house and administer the vaccine. However, an infected man caught up to him, accidentally pushing Jonah into the pit of corpses. Jonah, now bitten, injected himself with the vaccine in a desperate bid for survival. As the dawn of the 18th arrived, Nathan and Sharon continued their battle against the infected, while Jonah rushed to their aid. The distant sound of helicopters filled the air, causing the infected individuals to succumb one by one. Nathan suddenly remembered that the rescue operation was slated for the 18th and attempted to communicate their survival to the military forces, pleading for them not to open fire. Tragically, the armed group had received orders to leave no survivors, leading to Nathan's untimely demise. Jonah and Sharon, horrified and desperate to evade detection, hid in the pit alongside the mute girl. It was during this final act of desperation that Sharon experienced a disconcerting revelation. She had been stabbed by the infected woman from the cabin. Jonah took Sharon to the pit of corpses, and they descended to conceal themselves from the military presence while re-administering the vaccine. In a poignant moment, Sharon passed Jonah a note to help him remember their mission and the mute girl's crucial role in finding a cure. As the military presence closed in, Jonah, Sharon, and the mute girl concealed themselves amidst the grotesque tableau of death. Jonah and the mute girl approached the precipice of a vast quarry, teeming with thousands of corpses, a haunting testament to the horrors they had endured. It became evident that their journey was far from over, as the pursuit of a cure and the survival of humanity rested heavily upon their shoulders. Do you think they could find a cure? Let us know in the comments below. This is Flick Spoilers, signing off.